Hello, I'm Philip Stoten. I'm at Productronica 2015. I'm joined by Dave Bennett from Mirtec. Dave, thanks for stopping by. Saw you briefly last night at the SMT Global Technology Awards. I believe congratulations are due. What did you win for and which category?
We won Best Product from Asia for the MV6 Omni, and we also won the Technology Award for the Smart Loop for the process control.
Okay, and they're two products that have really been catching people's attention here. Start with the new machine. Tell me what's really sparking people's attention there.
Well, it was a bit of a quantum leap for Mirtec. We went ahead and purchased 500 sets of everything we would require to build these machines. They're a family of 3 machines. You've got a MS11E, which is a 3D 15 megapixel head SPI system. There's also a 2D AOI system, primarily for like post-placement usage. And we've got, of course, the MV6 Omni. They're exactly the same up until about 80% of the build. So we've got it probably at this time 30, 40 of these things sat in Korea at 80% build. As soon as an order comes in, we can finish them off in a matter of a week or so, do the final test, get them on an aircraft and flown in. So very, very fast delivery. But the big thing is, when you look at the specification, it's the only machine that's got a higher specification is our MV9 with the linear stage, which has got a 2 micron repeatability. Other than that, this has got the highest specification in the industry.
Right.
It's got a 15 megapixel main camera, it's got a 10 or a 15 micron lens, it's got angled cameras with 10 megapixel cameras, It's got an IntelliBeam laser for really high components above the range of 3D, digital moire sensors, not analog, and 8-phase lighting. It really is something else. Yeah. And you're talking comfortably under $100,000.
Wow.
Way under, depending on the spec.
And is that price because of the scale and the way you've built the platforms and the way you've designed the supply chain?
Some very clever engineering, designing a family of products which allowed us to buy in such high quantities and turn it into one of 3 different platforms. But the way it's looking at the moment, it's nearly all 3D AOI at that price. I mean, you're talking, it's actually a lower cost now to buy a 3D AOI system with the highest specification in the industry. It's cheaper to buy that from Mirtec today than it was to buy a legacy 2D machine 2.5 years ago.
That's crazy, isn't it? And as you say, that's partly the supply chain, partly because you built a platform, partly, again, clever engineering. Buying 500 sets takes a little bit of nerve and confidence. I mean, you've obviously got previous performance to consider, but why suddenly so much confidence in this particular launch? Was it because of the way customers were asking for it?
Yeah, it seemed that the 3D was becoming an elitist product. Only the biggest and most powerful companies with the deep pockets were able to look at it because they came into the market very expensive. And like all things, if we all remember when TVs came into the market, HD TVs, they were astronomical to what they are now. And that always comes to volume and market force. And we looked at the market and thought, it's not fair that there's almost a handicap system between the manufacturers who can work with 3D and really give their customers 100% inspection compared to those who are going to have to work within a budget where 2D was ever going to be the best they could do. Yeah. And we decided, no, we're going to break that mold and we're going to bring a machine to the market that any manufacturer, whether you've got 1 line or whether you've got 1,000 lines, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, fantastic. Best-in-class products, clearly, but it's not just about products, it's also about systems, and that's really where Smart Loop comes in, and you have that feedback and you connect to the other systems. How's the market responding to that? And just give me a brief overview of how that works.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you think of AOI by its definition, we are, or all of us, all AOI companies, have been a gate in the past. Good board, bad board. Yeah. And the better you could do that, the more you could save the customer from doing the worst of all things, which was deliver bad boards to his customers. Yeah. So it was all about catching the bad boards. We believe AOI's evolved, and we believe that our customers no longer want us just to catch bad boards. We now know they want us to help them identify why they made them and help them stop making them. So this is a big leap forward, and the only way we could do that as far as moving on beyond the capability of 3D AOI was concerned was to look at what can't we do? And obviously that was things like black devices. If you've got a BGA that's raised with a 1 micron accuracy, we'll catch that every time. But the customer's going to look at me and say, why was it raised? And any AOI company on the planet would turn around and say,
So no, it was raised.
It's not my job.
Yeah.
I caught it. You know, we wanted to go beyond that. So we were approached by a gentleman called Keith Bryant, who had an idea of trying to improve what X-ray could do to the sensitive industries like automotive, military, medical, etc. Who had for a long time been trying to work with inline AXI, and by its very definition, that is algorithm based, good board, bad board.
Yeah.
So not really much better than what the AOI was able to do. There's no doubt that finding a better way to use the skill of an offline X-ray was the route to go forward. So he set up a strategic partnership between initially Mirtec and Exelon. And that was because Mirtec already had a lot of things like IntelliTrack, where we could track SPI, post-placement, post-reflow, and fire up the history of any product that had failed. But again, if it came to a black device, that was as far as we could go. So really what it's done is made an extension. So we send the coordinates of every failed board to an offline Exelon machine. The Exelon machine immediately goes to the devices that have got suspicion, looks at them, takes the image, fires the data back onto one screen where you've got SPI, AOI, 3D AOI, and X-ray. And now we say to our customer, here's the whole process of that failed product. And I've got to say, certainly the big companies are already gearing up for Industry 4.0. These guys are all over it like a rash, because they can see that one X-ray offline with a human operator, well-trained operator, can run 5, 6, 8 lines. Because you don't need to look at every board, you need to look at those that are suspicious. Yeah,
that closed loop, that process control is absolutely essential to what people are looking at going forward. And that's had people queuing up at the booth for demonstrations.
It's been crazy. I mean, the voice is just about hanging in there. My poor engineers, I don't think they've had a break all day. They're running around, there's queues waiting to get on the thing. And I've got to say that the customers have been very gracious. They think it's a great idea. And they've asked what's next. And the next thing is longevity. We're stretching out the capability rather than widening it. Of course, in the future, will it be other AOI companies, SPI companies, whatever? Yeah, I'm sure SmartLoop will make that decision themselves. At the moment, we were chosen because in their view, we were best in class. With the capability we have with our 3D, with 1 micron accuracy and measurement and things like that, you needed that to find the subtle height errors in the first place. That then has to go to an X-ray machine that's very fast to process the imagery and with great accuracy. Of course, Exelon, Fine Focus, as we know them, they are a world leader and they are renowned for the quality of their imagery. So between the two companies, the relationship was formed to become the first part, but it is the first part. In the future, SmartLoop will incorporate in circuit tests, flying probe, and functional tests perhaps. I mean, so it's going to go long ways before it goes wide ways.
Perfect. Dave, thanks for stopping by. Great insight. I hope your voice lasts another 2 days. That's going to be the challenge.
Always nice to see you.
Thank you.